Hi everybody, I'm Sensei Peter, and Carla is here today to help me demonstrate all of the techniques that you're going to need to know for your first dragon test. There are 7 different techniques that you're going to need to know, and the test is not about demonstrating how you've mastered these techniques. We just want to see that you're familiar with them and that you know what you need to study in class and how to practice. So we're going to go over all 7 techniques. Normally, the dragon test techniques are broken into several different categories. There's positional control, chokes, and locks, and then there's a catch-all category for techniques that are either a little bit of both or some of neither. But for your first dragon test, you won't need to know any chokes or locks. So we're going to talk about different levels of positional control and some sweeps and a few escapes as well. So if you haven't seen the curriculum yet, you can go to the website www.daddydojo.com. Click on the link for the student section, and there will be a PDF there available that will show you all of these curriculum techniques. But for your first dragon test, the first 7, let's get into it now. The first thing you're going to need to understand is what guard is. In a self-defense situation or in a judo competition, whoever controls the other person's hips are really in control of the fight. So when I have both of my legs around my opponent, I am controlling her hips, I'm in control. If she can get out of my hips, now she's in control. She can do whatever she wants with her body and she can start to control mine. If I only have one leg held, we call that half guard, and both legs in, this is where I have her in my full guard. And there's different kinds of full guard. There's closed guard, where I lock my ankles behind her, or open guard, where I might be going for arm bars or sweeps and my legs are open, and we're going to talk about that more in a minute. But there are different levels of full guard. We're going to talk about 4 different levels, and they all have to do with the fact that you want to control the distance between you and your opponent so that in a street situation, they can't punch you. If she's got space to contact, that can be in big trouble. So I either want to create space or fill the space. And there's 4 different levels between being as close as you can to your opponent and them standing up and being away. So let's talk about the 4 different levels. Level 1, you're the spider and you're building your web. You want to be sticky and get your opponent tight so that they don't have any space to do anything. So in level 1, I'm going to collect her head and tuck my head in next to hers. Then the arm on that side, I want to wrap up with an overhook. There are underhooks and there are overhooks. And for full guard level 1, the overhook is best. Most of the time I'm going to be on the ground doing this and she's going to be up on top of me. And in fact, if she postures up, I want to go up and grab her and bring her back down. That way I've got the full stability of the ground at my disposal and her balance is completely broken. So I collect her head, tuck my head in tight, overhook this arm. Now Carla, can you punch me? Can you get me with a knockout blow? Can you kick me? Provide some relative safety. So now as she starts to move out to create space to punch, I'm going to transition into level 2, and then the farther she gets out, we'll go to level 3, and when she stands up, we'll go to level 4. So level 1 is where you start. Hook the head, tuck your head in, overhook the arm, pull them down. Let's scoot back just a little bit. If you can, close your ankles and get closed guard, that's good. Oftentimes your legs aren't quite as long or your opponent is bigger and you can't get that, that's okay. Just grab as tight as you can with your legs, collect the head, overhook the arm, level 1. Now as she tries to posture up to make space to punch me, she's gonna get her arm out. I'm gonna fill that space with my knee. So whichever arm she's making space with, I bring that knee up and tuck it right inside her elbow. Then my hand doesn't grip. I'm just gonna cup behind her elbow and pull it straight into my leg, creating this kind of lock here. Can you get that arm out? It's tough. So then she's gonna try to get the other arm out to punch me, and I fill the space there. This is level 2. From level 2, you can drop her back into level 1, or start setting up some attacks you'll see later, spider guard, triangle setups, all kinds of things. All right, so from level 1, she tries to break her arms out. I fill the space with my knee. She gets the other arm out. I fill that space with my knee. This is level 2. Now level 3, let's scoot back a little bit more. Just to free. There we go. As she continues to posture up, I'm going to slide my knees together in the middle of her chest. Now can you punch me? Can you reach me with a knockout blow? I have the ability to keep her back. So this is level 3. Let's review this all one more time. Level 1, she brings her arms out, I fill the space. Bring the other arm out, fill the space. She goes back even more, I put my knees in her chest. Level 3. The 4th and final level, she's gonna stand up to try to get over my knees to punch me. So I put my feet in her hips. Let's look at that one more time. From level 3, whichever leg she stands up first, that leg I'm going to put in her hip. You can feel her hip bone on the bottom of your foot, and you want to be able to control her and push her back. So then she brings the other leg up, I slide that foot in, and again, I can push her away, create the space I need to be safe. The next technique we're going to talk about is the scissor sweep. The scissor sweep is done from full guard level 3. When you have your knees in your opponent's chest, you're going to be able to do all kinds of things. Again, you're controlling their hips, you're controlling their body. Especially if you have an aggressive opponent that's trying to get up and over or punch you. What I'm going to do is turn it over onto my side. I don't want my knees to come together. She's going to collapse my legs and come up on top of me and do what she wants. So I'm going to keep my knees apart, keep one knee in her chest, but I'm definitely on my side. A rookie error is to try this move from the back, and you're just not going to be as strong. So use your arms, use your legs, use your opponent's hips even to grab and turn, or use the floor to turn, keeping one knee in her chest, one leg on the ground. The leg that's on the ground, just bring it in until you touch her. You don't have to hook and pull or put any pressure. You're just wrapping your leg around her leg. I'm on my side. One knee is up in her chest. Now what I'm going to do, since I'm going to sweep her this direction, I'm going to stop her from posturing up or posting by grabbing this arm. If I were going to sweep her the other direction, I'd want to grab this arm. Whichever direction you're going to sweep your opponent, that's really the only arm you have to worry about. If I have this arm collected, she's not going to be able to reach across and stop herself. So you only need to worry about the one arm, and that's the arm and the direction of the sweep. So my knee is in her chest, I'm on my side, I'm sweeping her this way, so I'm going to collect this arm. And how you collect it doesn't really matter. I just want to limit her ability from putting her hand out there to post. Once I get the arm in, this leg again is just touching her leg, I'm going to switch my feet, and she's going to be thrown to the mat. And you can sit right up into full mount. Let's do that one more time. If I were going to sweep her the other direction, I'm going to switch knees together. Don't open your legs and then switch. One knee is in here, I'm going to switch like this. I have my foot hooked in her torso. I grab this outside arm, I turn fully on my side to sweep. If I were to do it without an opponent, the leg movement is just like this. One leg is cocked, the other leg is ready, and you just switch them. On your side, arm grabbed, scissor sweep. Here's some quick pro tips on the scissor sweep. If you have everything set up, but she's got her balance really good, she's postured up, what I can do is let go of the hand for a minute, use this hand on the floor to sit up, and then I want to scoot my hips away from her, keeping my knee in her chest. Then I can sit up and grab her, connect our bodies together, and lean back. I'm going to keep this knee in her chest, so as we go back, I'll perform the sweep. So this hand I use to create the space, to get my hips away so I can sit up easily. Grab the arm, connect our bodies, slide the knee in as we go down, sweep into full mount. going to talk about the trap and roll escape. The trap and roll escape is perfect when someone has you in full mount. They're in control of your hips now. It looks a little bit like full guard, but she's got her legs around my hips. She's in charge. In fact, this is a really dangerous position to be in. She can reach me with a punch. I can't even reach her. If she wants to punch, she can wind up. She's got space for a killer punch. I can't even wind up even if I could hit her. So trap and roll is a necessity when your opponent has you in full mount. Let's scoot this way just a little bit. All right, if I'm going to sweep her towards the camera, then I want to grab and trap the arm and the leg on that side. Again, if I'm sweeping in a particular direction, I don't have to worry about her limbs on the other side. That's true of most sweeps. So for the trap and roll, if I sweep her this direction, I'm going to grab this arm and hook this leg. Again, I don't need to be strong. I just need to put my foot in the way so that her leg can't go out to stop the sweep. So just a touch is fine. Just bring your leg up to touch her foot. Then I'm going to grab this arm. Most of the time, actually, they're trying to choke you. They're trying to do different things. And then you don't need to collect the arm. You just need to make sure it doesn't have the ability to post out. Grab the arm, hook the leg. Then I'm going to bridge. I'm going to bring my other leg up to my butt and throw my hips up towards the ceiling. I won't get a whole lot of space, but it's a very powerful move. And even if somebody 4 times your size is sitting on you, you'll be able to rock their base. So I'm going to hip up and then roll over. Trap, trap, and roll. And you'll end up in their full guard, but we're going to talk about how to pass in just a minute. Trap, trap, bridge, and roll. If you want to use the other hand to help push her over, don't worry about grabbing her and pushing. You want to reach this other hand, point it next to her, point it up to the ceiling as high as you can, and then draw an arc, as big an arc as possible. And that'll create a long lever and a lot of pushing power. So let's say she's on me trying to choke me out here. I'm just going to make sure that her arm stays in. I've got her foot trapped. My other hand comes up past her and helps to draw an arc over as you complete the escape. That's the trap and roll escape. All right, when you are in your opponent's guard, you're in trouble. Believe it or not, anybody that walks into class maybe is going to see and think, oh, that poor girl, she's on the ground, she's in trouble. And if she didn't know what to do, she could be. But with a little bit of practice, when someone has full guard on their opponent, I'm the one that's actually in trouble. I have 1,000 different techniques for submissions, chokes, locks. She's got access to almost all of them. And right now, because I'm in between both of her legs, I have access to almost none of them. I'm going to have to pass her guard in order to get control back. Because right now, I have to worry about the chokes. I have to worry about the arm bars. I have to worry about being swept. My one job when I'm in somebody's guard is to get out. Nothing else is going to work until I've passed her guard. So the knee slice is the most effective way to pass somebody's guard. Now in full guard, if her legs are open, she might be going for a sweep, she might be going for an arm bar, an omoplata or triangle or something, so her legs are going to be open. We call that open guard. If her ankles are crossed behind me, we call this closed guard. Closed guard can be really difficult to get out of when someone has longer and stronger legs especially. So if they have a good deep grip, you can push and push and push on her knee and you won't be able to get enough leverage to separate that. She just has an insane amount of leverage. But we can turn the tables. If their legs are crossed, you use the Captain Morgan to get out, to break their guard. So the Captain Morgan is only used to break open somebody's guard. This is closed guard. I want her to have an open guard to start using my pass. This closed guard, if I just simply move back and she's holding on tight, she's just going to follow me. She has very little effort and she can adjust herself completely based on what I'm doing. So what I need to do is use something in the way to make sure she can't follow me as I move back. So either leg will work. Just pick one leg and put your weight on the knee and move it to go right in the middle of her hips. When my leg is in the middle of her hips now, she can't follow me. So I'm going to block her ability to move by putting my leg in the middle of her hips. Now, most of the time, she's going to be breaking my balance down. She's going to be trying to recover full guard level 1. This is where you play the floor is lava. If you touch the ground, she's going to know where your arms are. She's going to be able to grab them. She's going to be able to isolate her arms and attack you. So I want my hands in the middle. Usually, if you don't be too mean, but you can use your elbow pressure and your forearms to work your way back. So when she's breaking my balance, I want my arms in, and I want to use myself to come back to hold her hips down, get my posture, then I take my leg and put it right in the middle of her hips. Now already that's creating enough pressure to break open her closed guard. But if she gets really deep closed guard and I put my knee in the middle, I'm gonna slide my body back, keeping my knee in the same place. Yeah, there's just an insane amount of pressure that you put on their ankles. So if I were to do this just to the side by myself, if this knee comes up in the middle, you hold their hips down onto your knee and you move your body back. If you're gonna posture up with this leg, don't put the leg forward, they'll be able to grab it. Don't put it to the side because you're not really moving your body back. So this knee goes in their hips and you bring this leg up on that back corner. That's gonna open up your body, putting the pressure on the ankles to break it open. If you have this leg here and you step up like a pirate on the leg on the barrel, that's why we call it the Captain Morgan. You've got this wall here where their hips aren't able to follow you up at all. They can raise their hips and it doesn't matter, you've got this wall. I can't move as far back with this as I can if I stay down and slide back. But you can see the problem is I don't have a wall anymore. It's just my ability to block her hips is only as high as my knee is wide. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. You have to, depending on how your opponent is moving and reacting, what your body types are like, you might have to play around with a little bit of both. Traditional Captain Morgan, you have a nice tall wall to keep their hips isolated and move back, but I can't move back as much as if I reduce the wall, hold their hips down, and really slide back. So let's say they do have a nice tight grip on you, and they've got really long legs, and you've put one knee in the middle, and you're sliding back, and you still can't get enough pressure. Well, at this point, you can push the knee down. But you need to block their ability to follow you, move your body back, and then you're good to go. That's the Captain Morgan. Now, if you're in somebody's guard and their ankles aren't crossed, you don't even have to worry about the Captain Morgan. You can go right to the knee slice. The knee slice is probably the most complicated move on the test. Ultimately, we're going to make her do the splits, and we're going to hold her into the splits while we step out to safety. To make her do the splits, I'm going to use one leg to isolate her leg, and I'm going to use my other hand to push her leg away. And then I'm going to be able to step both legs out. But to get there can be pretty dangerous, especially when you have an opponent who knows how to sweep you. So you always have to maintain good balance and good posture. Posturing up is the first step for anything. First step for the Captain Morgan, first step for this knee slice, and honestly, posturing up is a good way to get out of most attacks. If she's choking me, or trying to armbar me, or triangle me, by posturing up, I can limit her ability. She definitely has to break my balance for anything to work. So get your balance, hands on her hip bones, posture up. For the knee slice, I want to grow a knee right up in the middle of her two legs. So I'm going to shift and bring my leg up. Now, I want to keep an athletic base here. I don't want my knees to come together, and I don't want to be too tall. She will sweep me in a heartbeat. So my legs are out, but the knee that I'm bringing up in the middle is straight up in line with her body. Don't turn it yet. We will, but if you turn it too early, she can use that as a ledge to sweep you and rock you off your base. So don't open up your leg yet. Keep it in the middle. Keep your base solid. And you're gonna have to play here to make sure that you've got your balance before you go. When it's time to go, I'm gonna build a wall. This part needs to be flush. If I bring it back and I have a ledge, she's gonna be able to use that to recover guard. If I'm too far forward and I have an overhang, she's gonna be able to use that to recover guard. So really, this wall needs to be flush from your ankle straight up to your wrist. Now it's a bendable wall. I'm gonna be able to use it like pliers. If her leg is up to try to defend my movement, I can push her leg down where I need it to go. But the whole time, this joint needs to be flush. So, from someone's guard, you bring a knee up in the middle, keeping your athletic base. Build a wall, and when it's time to go, I'm going to turn my leg open and pick a spot between her hip and her knee for my knee to arc over, and I want to put my weight on my knee on the ground. If I put my knee past her knee, she's going to be able to pull her leg right out and recover guard, and all of that work will have been reset. But if I keep my weight in front of her knee, her leg's going to be pinned. So I bring my leg up, build a wall. When I'm ready to go, I pick a spot between her hip and her knee, and I'm going to arc my leg over. I don't want to go with my full body with my knee. I want to push my knee out. This is why we call it the knee slice. My knee is going to slice through. The other thing I'm going to do is keep my foot hooked, which is going to grab her leg. So when my leg is down like this, I have some space here. This is where her leg is going to be trapped under my leg. You don't want to put pressure on your opponent's leg. You don't want to knee down on them. You don't want to sit down on them. One, it's your friend in class. You don't want to hurt them. Two, even if it's an opponent on the street or in tournament and you hurt them, they're going to move quickly to get away from that pain. You don't want that. That erratic movement could cause a lot of problems for you. You're not going to be able to keep your base. And if you, what I call, build your house on their foundation, if I put my base and my balance, depending on where their leg is, when they move their leg quickly from the pain, my whole being is going to shake too. So I want to be in control. I want to make a connection with the ground. So when their leg is up and you're in the guard and you're ready to go, you turn your wall to the side, keeping your toes hooked, and slide your knee over. Now my weight's on my leg, my toes are hooked, and this leg of hers is trapped. So I've got 3 points of contact I need to think about here. This is the first one, and all of that setup is to get this leg isolated right there. As soon as that happens, I need to worry about her upper body and controlling her ability to move or sit up or twist, and then I need to grab this other leg to isolate it. So for the rest of this, I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to bring this knee up, build a wall over here, and when this knee slices over and makes contact, I need to think about these other 2 points of the triangle. I'm going to use my hand to go right in the corner of her shoulder and her neck, and I'm going to put my weight on my arm, and that's going to limit her ability to move out. So she's kind of stuck here for the time being with this post of mine. This post makes contact with her shoulder and her head. Now she can't rotate or scoot. So I've got point 1, point 2, time for point 3. I don't want her to grab this leg and get half guard. It's probably going to happen in a live roll with a good opponent, but if you can use this time to get all the way out into side control, you'll be much better off for it. So what I want to do is underhook her leg. I want the inside of my elbow to be on the inside of her knee from the back side. Now Carla, can you grab my leg? Can you get half guard? Can't, yeah. Here's a pro tip. As I start to slide over and make connection here, I can use my leg to walk, and bring her leg up. Then I can underhook it. Okay, so we've got all 3 points taken care of. Now it's time to back step. And that's the last part of this move. The knee is up in the middle, you build the wall, turn to the side, slice your knee through, keeping your foot hooked. Put weight on them so that they can't move. Underhook the other leg. Then this leg steps out and all the way around behind you. I just need to clear this leg. If this leg is stuck in between her legs, she's going to be able to grab half guard. As soon as I clear this leg, then I'm safe. Then I can let go of both hooks. But do not let go of any of the hooks early. She will grab half guard. So in the guard, get a knee up in the middle, build the wall, turn, slice through, keep my weight on my knee, keep my foot hooked. Put weight on her so she can't adjust, underhook her other leg, back step out to safety. Then I can release the hook, release this hook, and I'm in side control. And that is the knee slice pass. All right, last two moves are this positional control of scarf hold and then transitioning that into katagatame, or the arm triangle. Scarf hold, your opponent is laying down with their arm out. And what you're gonna do is sit in their armpit, facing away from them basically, with your legs kind of in the same direction as their arm. Take their arm and wear it like a seatbelt. Now she's got her wrist and her elbow that are kind of like knots on a rope. If I slip down here, I'm gonna catch your elbow. Slip the other way, catch your wrist. Slip this way, catch your elbow. So I'm gonna take advantage of both of those to hold it in two places with one arm. So when you're sitting up, you don't wanna sit away and lean into your opponent. That's a mistake. You think you're putting weight on them, but really they're gonna be able to take advantage of that space. So you wanna sit up straight and get as close to them as possible. The arm comes around you like a seatbelt and you pinch their wrist between your tricep and your body. This alone could be a good grab. Can you get your arm out? It's tough, but my hand is still free. So I'm gonna use my hand, again, don't grab, but just cup. I'm gonna cup her elbow. If her arm is bent, I don't wanna grab it on the side. I can grab it right behind. She's actually gonna try to get her elbow to the ground. If she can get her elbow to the ground, she's got a much better chance of escaping. So I wanna cup and pull up and make sure that she can't get her elbow to the ground. So sitting in her armpit, got her arm like a seatbelt, pinch her wrist, cup her elbow. Then my other hand is gonna collect her head and grab her shoulder and hold that to the ground. It's gonna do two things. One, my arm is like a kickstand over on this side with my weight on it. So it's gonna be hard for her to roll me that direction. My bicep is in her neck, so it's gonna be really tough for her to turn that direction. Then my hand comes through to the other side and is holding her shoulder down. So between this arm wrap and the shoulder grab from the other side of her head, I'm really in control of this side of her body. So much so, it's gonna be difficult for her to move at all. Then your feet, if they're both straight out, you wanna split them and bring this leg up behind you. Some people drop their knee like this. Some people keep it up. This foot doesn't necessarily want to be straight out like a stretch, but if you're gonna bend it, just bend it a little bit. If you bend it all the way, you can bring it down to limit their elbow to get to the ground. You can cup your own leg, and this is a modification. We call this kazuri kesagatame, but that's on the second test. We'll talk more about that later. Standard scarf hold, collect the head, grab the shoulder, split the legs. This one is out, so she can't bridge me towards my face. This one is posted up and back, so she can't roll me back. My legs are split, so I'm covering as many directions as I can. Again, I don't want to be away from her and leaning on her. I want to be up as tight as I can and then try to put my ear to her ear. Because if she's really clever, she can take this outside leg, bring it up over my head. Man. Oh, we call this the sneaky snake escape. If she gets that leg over your head, it's just, she's got an insane amount of leverage. So pinch, support, hook, grab, pull, split, head down. Boom. This is scarf hold. Kesagatame. Now from here, She's going to be trying to wiggle and get this arm free to help her escape. If I can let her get her arm out and catch behind her elbow, I can push her elbow up to her face. Then I'm going to switch my feet, turn my hips over. So scarf hold, my belly is pointing up. When I switch my feet and turn over for katagatame, my hips are pointing down. If I'm going to push her arm across her face, I want to slide up as close to her elbow as I can to help that pushing power. But when I go to replace it with the crook of my neck, I don't want to put my pressure here. I want my head to actually be down just on top of her shoulder. So with my hands here and my feet switched, I'm going to slide down, down, down here. This hand is out. I can touch my own nose. So what I'm going to do is gable grip. This knee slides up into her belt. This leg postures out so I can drive my body weight into her shoulder. I gable grip, squeeze, and this is katagatame. So to wrap up, the person performing the techniques is called the tori, and the person who is the willing partner is called the uki. Big round of applause for Carla for being my good uki. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.